Hey, welcome back. The next instructional series that we're going to go through is our ball handling series. So there's 4 primary moves that we're going to work on, and then we have 2 bonus ones for the higher level players. The first one is a hesitation move, getting the defense to just stop in their tracks, hesitate, and then get by them. The second one is an inside out move, good setup, stay to the side that you're dribbling with. The third one is a crossover, just dropping your hips, crossing the player over and changing your direction. And then the fourth one is a retreat dribble, where we actually create the space, read when we get that space, which direction we want to go off of that. The 2 bonus ones we're going to talk about is between the legs and behind the back. First one we're going to do is just the hesitation, where the defense gets stuck. We're going to imagine that these pop-up blockers are defenders. So Logan and I are going to come at these defenders. First one is a hesitation move. Second move we're going to work on is an inside out move. On this inside out, what you'll notice is that when we come at this defender, we're doing inside out, we want to have our setup with our opposite foot of the ball that we're dribbling with. Okay, so we want to get that defender off balance from the direction we want to go. Okay, we want to set up with an outside leg, and then we're going to go inside out. Okay, so you'll watch when Logan does this, it's the opposite leg that influences and sets up, and then an opposite dribble. Third one that we're going to work on is a crossover move. Again, with the crossover, we want to influence the opposite direction we're going. So you'll see a same side leg influence with the ball or the direction he's going. So he'll have the ball in his right hand, he'll influence with his right leg, and then he'll cross over, dropping his hips, a low and tight cross. Next one we're going to work on is a retreat dribble. Okay, so you're going to notice Logan's going to get into the defender. He's going to retreat and create space, and then from that space, he can cross over and change his direction, or he can stay the same direction. Okay, so if he retreats with his right hand, he can retreat, create space, see which way the defender is guarding him, and then make the decision to stay right, or he could retreat and then see, based on the space, if he wants to cross over and change that direction. In all of these moves, right, players are going to learn instinctively when you're playing in the game of basketball which move is going to be best. Our encouragement with players is first to establish a primary, right, and primary plus move, right? So as a player, if you're really good at inside outs, right, continue to establish that as a primary move, right, while working these other 3 moves that we just discussed. The last 2 that we're going to talk about, between the legs and behind the back, we don't really establish these moves until about 6th grade. Hey, we really want players from 3rd grade on to 5th grade to really establish themselves with the crossovers, with the retreat dribbles, with the hesitation, and make sure that those are fundamentally really solid moves for them. Okay, once you've established yourselves as a really good ball handler, then we can start getting into the more dynamic, more challenging crossovers. So the one we're going to work on right now is just the between the legs. Same thing with the crossover. We're going to influence with the same foot that we have the ball. So he's going to influence, if he's dribbling with his right hand, he's going to influence right, and then go between his legs, change his direction going to the left. The things we want to make sure of when we're doing these crossover moves is that we are also veering back straight line. Okay, so you'll notice when Logan makes these moves at the point of defense, okay, he doesn't veer out, right? He makes his crossover and then he's veering back on that straight line. Okay, game of basketball, you know, if you're playing in a half-court set, when you attack your defender from the perimeter, you don't want to veer towards the secondary help. You want to veer back towards that straight line, get into the rim, get into your position. The last one that we're going to do is we're going to do a behind the back. Same thing as your crossover in between the legs. You are making sure that you are influencing the opposite direction that you want to go. So you'll notice he's with his left hand, he's going to influence left, behind the back going to the right, changes direction. How does this apply to the half court? When you think about this, okay, in a half court setting, you're starting at the 3-point line, which in high school, that's 19-9. Okay, a lot of times you're not going to have the space to be able to do all of these moves. And that's why we encourage players to become really good at changing your speed and changing your direction in small spaces. Okay, we don't do a lot of full court dynamic ball handling drills for the reason that in a game of basketball, you might only get to 1 crossover, 2 crossovers in an entire game. So with all of these moves that we just established as our change of speed, change of direction moves, we want to make sure as players that we establish the hesitation move, the change of speed, as our primary move from 3rd grade, 4th grade, right? As you get more advanced, you're starting to work in your inside out, the retreat, and the crossover. Again, once you get those 4 mastered, then you're working on your between the legs and your behind the back. So again, as parents, as players, as fans, right? Being able to change your speed first, being able to change your direction second, then work on your advanced move third.